Headlining this week at Hawthorne Lanes. Brad Angelo working the crowd. It's easy to be loose when you're up 53 pins. I'm loose, just seeing him up 53 pins. Randy Peterson, Rob Stone back here with you. And some nice storylines coming into today's televised event. Koivu Niemi with his third televised appearance in his first 6 events of the season. Chris Barnes making his 3rd consecutive televised appearance, but man, all kind of overshadowed by Robert Smith. This time last year, this guy wasn't bowling. A, B, he's lucky if he could get out of bed due to a bad back. Yeah, it's kind of a feel-good story. Robert had to defer his exemption because of a hip flexor, and then it affected his back. And Friday night, Robert Smith is bowling for the telecast against Pete Weber in position round. He shoots .279. Not only does he make the show, but he's the top seed. And Robert's out to prove that he still has game and he can still win out here. He is a high revolution guy. That's the term you guys have been dropping to me all week. I'm really excited to see him, and I think our viewers will be as well. We'll talk more about what the high revs mean a little bit later, but we return now to match number 1. Brad Angelo with a mammoth lead right now over Richie Allen. He has 5 strikes in a row. This is the Motel 6 6th frame. With a strike here, he'll earn $600 from Motel 6, the official lodging partner of the PBA. Give him a check! It's all about the Benjamins, brother. Now, this is a guy who was worried about his financial situation just a few weeks ago due to his bad back. He gets this one in the swish zone, and this is why you put revolutions and spin on a bowling ball. Keeps the pins low, great pin carry. He will also be eligible for a $6,000 bonus if he throws the front 6 more than any other bowler on TV this season. We take a look our Ebonite Digitrack numbers, and they're not lying, are they? They're not. Ebonite Digitracks shows Brad Angelo playing about 5 boards deeper at the arrows than Richie Allen. 7 in a row. And I think what's really neat this week is, you know, last week we saw players throwing in a 19 and 20 mile an hour range. You get on a longer oil pattern, their speed's down to 17, as you see a beautiful profile shot of Brad Angelo. And Brad Angelo has come to play today. Big whip here from Richie Allen. And this is almost a lost cause for Richie right now. Not trapped. That's an oy vey look. Oy vey. What am I going to do? Not trapped. Now, hopefully his wife's interview tomorrow goes a little bit better. Good kid, great personality. Really enjoyed talking to Richie yesterday. But frankly, we don't see enough headbands in bowling these days, if you ask me. I still think he should write your name here on the front of that headband. We're trying to help him. You know, it's all about marketing these days. You got to be your own PR manager, and he doesn't want any part of it. So maybe you and I need to step in and get a little cut of the profits. Last year, he missed the majority of the season due to a stress fracture in the right ring finger, right up on the tip. It was tiny but painful, he was telling us. Happened at the gym. He was with his wife, one of those safety pins on those like Nautilus-type machines for the lower back. It was clipped, came down on it. He's like, oh, that hurts. That may leave a mark. Yeah. It left more than a mark. Stress fracture. He was out, his therapy was take time off and calcium pills. Pretty tough to throw a 15 or 16 pound bowling ball when you've got a broken ring finger, seeing how that's one of the fingers that you use. Brad Angelo has started today's televised event with 7 consecutive strikes, looking for 8 and trying to snap a nasty TV bugaboo. Get down, 7. Great start, great run. Brad Angelo and that voodoo roll of his really making this oil pattern look pretty simple in this first match. Another pretty good shot there.
Plastic ball at the 7-pin.
Take a look at our Lumber Liquidators oil pattern this week. And it's a challenging one.
I said earlier, it's the longest of the named patterns. You've only got 16 feet of back end. And what happens is the players use sanded bowling balls to try to create some friction. And what happens is that beats up the front part of the lane and makes it tougher to get to the break point on a consistent basis.
There we go.
The other thing that makes this, the other thing that makes this pattern difficult is the outside part of the lane. There's like cliffs, and if you get it too far to the right, it falls off of that cliff and has no chance of getting back to the pocket.
And the guys were telling us that through the week, it seemed like there was constant alterations you had to make to your game. And a couple of the bowlers we have coming up completely avoid the issue by lofting it over, essentially just kind of chipping over the rough stuff.
Well, that's what Richie did all week, was a little bit more loft. He could kind of play his natural game, but Mika Koivuniemi coming up in our next match, that's what he does. That's his bread and butter. And when you can clear the front part of the lane on this pattern, or any pattern for that matter, you're going to have an advantage.
Bad decision I made.
Angelo, for all intents and purposes, will be moving on right now unless he runs head on to a few gutter balls. That was flat.
Mathematically, this match is over, and the only thing that will keep Brad from taking on Mika Koivuniemi is maybe a
back spasm.
Back going out.
This will be Allen's first top 10 finish
Brad, go get him, man.
of the season, so we're trying to look at some positives for Richie. Certainly not the game he wanted to bowl right now, and he'll pack his bags and get ready for next week. So Brad Angelo, the number 5 seed, will take on Mika Koivuniemi in match number 2. He brought up the subject yesterday, Randy, of, you know, what's the big question, guys? What's the big question you ask me all the time? When am I going to win that first title? And he said something interesting that I thought, at least. He said, this one is different. Just the different feel, maybe the different attitude, the mental outlook. Something about this week has been different for Brad Angelo, who has a 101 pin advantage right now. Not trying to make light of Richie Allen, but are you kidding me? 101 pin advantage?
Well, Richie bowled better than 168. His pin carry wasn't very good, and then he lost the pocket the last 4 frames. But tough to beat 279, or well, he's going to be in the 260s. That's tough to beat anytime. So,
thank you. Thanks.
But Brad Angelo's got a tough task ahead of him today. He's got to go all the way up the ladder and win 4 matches to win his first title.
With a bum back.
With a bad back.
We'll talk about that back in the next match. You told us yesterday, I think the line was, my back feels very shaky right now, guys.
Thank you.
But if that's a shaky back, I'll take it any day. A huge 97-pin win for Angelo with a bum back. 265 to 168. He moves on as we take a look at our CLR clean sweep. And it's on, Mr. Angelo. What a start.
Just rock solid for the first 10 frames. Big 265 taking care of Richie Allen.
Well, on deck for Mr. Angelo, Mika Koivuniemi. The Big Fin tries to be the first to pocket 2 title checks this season.